I ain't fucking with the book, I turn my page off. 100,000 something like it, what the name costs. Being struck without the top, no J gon' hang off. I don't feel like letting nobody over, cut the lane off. I don't wanna see no one perform with the stage. I ain't fucking with the book, I turn my page off. 100,000 something like it, what the name costs. Being struck without the top, no J gon' hang off. I don't feel like letting nobody over, cut the lane off. I don't wanna see no one perform with the stage costs.
What's up guys, it's your boy Crestoria here, and we are back for another video. And right now I want to do a little run through review of what I think of Tales of Crestoria. I actually been playing this from release, but I haven't been playing it as consistently due to some other games that was out. If you're familiar with Guardian Tales that just came out, that has been an absolute blast for me. But I'm gonna talk about that in the Guardian Tales video. But yeah, so right now I just see the Untitled Chapter 5 of the story. Now Tales of Crestoria is based off the Tales games, and it's based off a story-driven action RPG. That's really good. I've played a lot of them. So a lot of the characters are pretty familiar to me. But this game is really good. I call it a copy and paste clone of the mobile game Digimon Re-Arise, and the difference between that and this is not much. Okay, the main difference is Tales of Crestoria has a story. I'm gonna show you all the combat for a quick second. It's a turn-based RPG where you have chain skills and link skills, not link skills, but the main combat feature is the combo mechanic. So the more hits you can do, the more damage you can do overall with the damage counter. As you can see, the hit gauge goes up, the damage goes up. As you go to 20, it'll go to 20% and whatnot. And then 40% and all that. So at some point you unlock the auto feature and fast forward feature. Now the graphics, they're okay. They remind me of PS2, what you would get if you played a PS2 RPG. And I think they were trying to go for that kind of dull aesthetic for it. It took some getting used to, but it's okay. The character models aren't that bad. They try to stick really close to the original character models. So some characters look more simple than others. Some look more elaborate. But yeah, the combat is pretty straightforward. I haven't had to do any fights where I had to rely on manual play, save for a few when I was a little weaker. But this is pretty much combat. You do combat to fill up your gauge, and then you do your ultimate attacks. The goal is to try to get it in order for you to get the most damage out of your combos. But that's pretty much story mode, and then you have very nice cutscenes. Now the main thing about this game is the story mode, and I think for anything else, you should play this game for the story. It's really well done. The voice acting is phenomenal. And it just has a lot to it, and you also have side stories for all for the characters. So you have like pretty much side quests. I'm only on chapter 4, so you have the side stories, and you unlock the side stories as you beat chapters. So you get a little backstory on how the characters are living in this world. You even have you have the Gaul quests, the towers, all that stuff. They even have in between cutscenes and all that stuff. So right now they're doing an event, right? So the event is a limited quest, so you do a little story mission. But the main thing of this game, if you ever played Digimon Re-Arise, when it comes to new events and stuff, it's usually like a raid thing, and they literally have the same copy and paste raid formula from Digimon Re-Arise. For me, it's an okay thing, because you can do multiple and have multiple queued up and all that stuff, but it just seems like an endless grind, and for me it just doesn't hold my attention as much. You have Gaul quests, you have power quests, just the generic stuff on the side, but the main selling point for this is the story. All these things are just to power up your characters and all that stuff. I haven't bothered with it that much, but the story mode is phenomenal. It has awesome animated cutscenes and just a lot of content, I won't lie. Story wise, I can probably show you guys a movie from it. I think my favorite one is when Fishes shows up. This was probably one of the, not the first, but one of the first real cutscenes that had some length to it. So you have these animated cutscenes that are really, you could see they put a lot of work into it, just as much as the voice acting. The Tales series was never big on cutscenes. They would have them thrown out, and it would mostly be focused on the dialogue and novel style, visual novel style format. Or when for later games they started adding the models, and the models have cutscenes, but they were mostly stilted and all that stuff. So it wasn't nothing spectacular or special. You may have a few action scenes here and there, but it really wasn't all about that. It was more about the action-based combat and all that. So you have an AP system and a BP system. Now the BP system, I guess every time you level up you get 10 BP. This, once you're over that, it's not going to recharge anymore once you're over 10, but you use those for the raids. Now the raids you use for powering up your weapons, I mean not your weapons, your character skills. So you do these raids for the different elements to get the materials, to do all that good stuff. I can't be bothered with all that. It's a really grindy game, and if it wasn't for the story, I wouldn't recommend playing it. But I think if you do play it, it's a good game to play at a leisurely pace, not to get caught up in all the event stuff and trying to get all the characters, because it's really not worth it. You have a guild system, you have summons as well. So you have this new banner out. They're doing like a whole summer theme. So you have all this. I've gotten one of the summer characters. You have this banner, you have the arena banner, you do have PvP. It's more of a light PvP, but it's okay. It's okay, it's really okay. The characters are really true to form and true to, I love the art for them. They're all unique. I wish the models could have been a little better. Now, I just use all the SSRs I could have and a few high hitters, but it doesn't really seem to matter as much. But it just seems like a game where you could just chill and play and, take your time. Not one of those games where you have to get caught up. But I think the problem with this game is, it's not going to last very long. Unless they keep pumping out story content, because it's not unique in any way. There's nothing in it to make it stand out outside of the story. And I keep mentioning the story because it's really good and it's really engaging. And it's really like top notch. I won't lie. They really put the production value of a main game into doing this. I just wish the combat, I wish they did actually keep the side, I wouldn't mind the side scrolling combat, or even like the 3D world arena type combat, to just stay true to the Tales games. Because right now it's just like, what made Tales games really good was being able to control your characters, use your moves whenever you want, and then you have a variety of moves. Like you have, all these characters have their Demon Fang and all the Tempest Blade and Dark Blade, but the thing about Tales is the more you use the special move, that special move levels up, and when you use that enough times, you get a next form of that move, an upgraded version. Or if you learn 2 moves and you use them enough times, you get a hybrid version of those 2 moves, but it's a stronger move. And that's how the chain of learning abilities went. This one is more like, whatever move you have, that's what you're stuck with. And I think it kills a part of what the heart of what the Tales game is. It's cool that they made it, and they have a current representation of themselves in media, but right now I would say don't take it too seriously, but give it a shot. Just play the story, don't worry about tier lists, because you're not going to be checking for PvP. PvP is very uninvolved. You could do it manually, but it's just going to take long because you're fighting opponents as strong or stronger than you, and it's really kind of boring. You never really want to watch the combat in any way. But this has pretty much been Tales of Crestoria for me. I do try to log in and just try to do stuff, but even that sometimes like why? Because I don't really want to go through the story. And after you fight with these characters a million times, see them moves a million times, you still have to invest a lot in these other characters. So it's like there's no evolution of move, no evolution of what your character can do. It's just the same moves over and over. And I know in other RPGs and other gacha games that's how it is, but when you see my video for Guardian Tales, you get to see like the level that they go in that game is hard. Like they go hard in that game. But this, for what Tales is, in a game where it's always about progression and learning new moves, they really strip the soul out of Tales of Crestoria. And it's just, I feel like it's a shell of what it could be. And even if they did just make a 2D version, a 2D side-scrolling action game, this would have been even a better game. They could even just import like the movesets from the other games and just put it on the characters and they learn that way. That would have been awesome. It would give people more reason to use more characters and to learn all their moves. But thanks guys. This is my thoughts on Tales of Crestoria. It's good. It's fun. The story's great. The sound acting is phenomenal. The graphics are okay. The music is pretty good. There's a good much content, but it's not enough to say, hey, this is just a RPG with a story, and we just tapped on some side stuff to keep you busy until the next update, kind of thing. You know, everything is just chill. But this has been Credo Zetska, and this has been my kind of quasi review of Tales of Crestoria. Give it a shot. Don't knock it. Just give it a shot. It's a good time. I guarantee it.